thank you. I just absolutely want you to go on and on. So please. No, thank you. I love the richness and the synergy that the two of you have. It's special for all of us to witness, so we're really blessed by both of you in your heart and clarity of voice. So good morning to all of you. And I get to talk in 20 minutes or less the wisdom of Ernest Holmes on how to use science mind. So stay with me as I rapidly try to pull this all together. But what I love is the absolute present moment, the jewels and the gems that are handed to you in moments of time. And after the morning service, Joy Carroll comes up and he shares with me a wisdom from Gangaji, who is a beautiful teacher that I have loved to listen to her for over the years. And she speaks this wisdom of before you can take care of others, you must take care of the self. Really take care of yourself. And when she really got that, she was able then to be totally open to be in service to all, because she took care of the self. And so all of our teaching is the invitation to take care of yourself first. That is not selfish. That is the one truth, that when you restore the deep love and the deep knowing of your own soul, you have become that conduit of truth, and you are a servant to the one. So Ernest Holmes' powerful message to all of us. Reverend Mary shared last week about what is the science of mind, this philosophy, this teaching, this great truth, gathered together from many philosophers and held together by the teaching of Ernest Holmes in a way. How to use this now is you must simply use it. You have to do it. It can be great wisdom. It can be a feel-good message for you, but you have to do it. So he says in his in Living the Science of Mind, because remember this whole year is dedication to the 100th year of Ernest Holmes' wisdoms. And so we will be sharing that throughout the year in many ways, bringing to you some of his ideas and some of the understanding that we've gleaned from his wisdom ways. And we invite you to continually try to put it into practice to see what works for you. And so in Living the Science of Mind, it's a great book to have alongside your Science of Mind textbook, because he speaks, spiritual power is of no particular value to us until we use it. Okay, we must not only be conscious of this power, we must be actively conscious of it. This is one of the first lessons we learn in spiritual science. So, before he ever started one of his radio programs, he said, there is a power in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. So, I'm going to let you hear yourself say that, because I want you to really feel the vibration of that knowing. So, as you personalize this, repeat after me. There is a power in the universe. It is greater than I am. And I can use it. There's a power in the universe greater than I am. And I can use it. Say it all together. There's a power in the universe greater than I am, and I can use it. Fill this room. There is a power in this universe, and it is greater than I am, and I can use it. Feel it. Yeah. It's like, me? Yes, you can use it. There's a power now in this room, a vibrational field that you set up, and you're now breathing that vibrational field. You are that now. And that's what the teaching has invited us continually to do, is to now walk our talk and no longer just continually be fed by the outside source. That there is a truth in this universe and a power and an intelligence, and we are the divine conduits of that knowing, of that truth. And the powerful teachers in our lifetime and before have shown us the way. And we honor Dr. Martin Luther King this weekend. We remember him. Why? Because he held to the truth of freedom. And he had a vision and a dream. And he allowed himself not to be disturbed and threatened by the effects. I mean, he certainly was disturbed. It was a calling of his heart. But he didn't let that paralyze him into non-action. He took it to heart, and he became a man that led people into a greater knowing of the civil rights and of the good of all beings. And so we honor him, continually honor him for saying yes to a powerful journey of his lifetime. And each of us are invited not to dwell in the pity of the effects that we find in our experience, but to look at them as stepping stones, as tools to rise above, because there is a power in this universe, and you are the one that are called upon to use it in your experience. Ernest Holmes says the realization that we have this ability must be gained only by our application of the knowledge of it. He spent a lifetime writing, reframing, and sharing from the father of New Thought, which was Quimby, to the later years of Sri Aurobindo. He has an experience also. Yogananda spent some time with Ernest Holmes in an exchange. Wisdom teachers throughout his lifetimes, and he brings it to us. How to use this teaching is to put it to test and to begin to demonstrate it. This law that we talk about, what is that law? There is love, and all of us feel good about the love. But what is this law? It is the principle. Remember this. It is done unto you. And here's the word, as. It is done unto you as you believe. So what do you believe? Because it's done unto you as you believe. Every teacher, every master has tried to find a way to articulate that to each and every one of us. And we take that and we download it through the filters of our experience. And we realize, but I say this quote, and I try to live that truth, but nothing changes in my world. It's because it is done unto you as you believe. Deep in the consciousness of your being is the subconscious that has downloaded every experience that you have ever had. You cannot get away from that. But what do you do with that? You use it as the subconscious bubbles forth, and you feel a doubt, a fear, a question of your courage. You look at it, you feel it, and you say, no more. I stand in my truth, because there's a power. There is a power moving through me that knows more. And so I recognize that though this belief has risen into my awareness right now, I can call upon this greater knowing, this greater intelligence to cast it aside, because there's a power in this universe, and I have the gift of experiencing that power. This law is for everybody. This science, this whole spiritual science, is the science of possibilities. And so we recognize through all the science part of this, through the quantum physics that is now exposing us to all of the greater insights into this great wisdom from way back from Socrates and Plato's time, that this matter that we're working with, I love the way Quimby talks about it as spiritual matter. It's spiritual matter. It's just the spiritual matter that you can allow your thoughts to recreate a greater experience. And we recognize that energy, the energy that we feel, impacts this matter. It impacts it. We see it through our eyes of our beliefs, and then we have an impact on it by taking it back to its greatest truth, not by sprinkling it with our doubts and our insecurities. And so here it is. We understand that reality can't be understood just from a human sense. Just from our five senses. There's greater sense than that. There is a greater knowing that, a greater intelligence than just what we can perceive from five limiting senses. We have the ears to hear, we have the eyes to see, and then there's something greater. There's something greater in the intelligence field that we can become awake and impressed upon as we allow our spiritual practices to polish this way. Now, what else was I handed this morning was a beautiful practice from Richard Rohr, from his daily meditation to today. How much better is this? To live in the present moment requires a change. It requires a change in our inner posture. What's our inner posture? It's our beliefs. It's how we have crafted our way in the world. Instead of expanding or shoring up our fortress of the small self, this ego, the contemplation waits to discover who we truly are. Most people think they are their thinking. We think that we are what we think. They don't have a clue who they are apart from their thoughts. But in contemplation, we move to a level beneath the thoughts, beneath the beliefs, beneath the sensations, to the level of a pure beingness, a naked awareness, he says. In contemplative prayer, this is the way we go. How do you use it? Through prayer, through your word, through the power of your word. Prayer, pray unceasingly, pray always. Make sure the words that come out of your heart come from a place that are not dictated by the disappointments in your belief system. They don't come from the triggers in your world, but they come from the pure being. So you wait. You wait and you wait and you wait until this purity arises inside, and then you speak your word. And it's a prayer of good that benefits all. In contemplative prayer, he goes on to say, we calmly observe our own stream of consciousness, and we see its compulsive patterns. We wait in silence with an open heart. With an open heart and an attuned body. Can you see yourself there? I sit in the stillness. I choose to sit in the stillness, and I wait for an awakened heart, and I tune into that. It won't take long for your usual patterns to assault you. Our habits of control, addiction, negativity, tension, anger, fear, they will all try to assert themselves, he says. This is so brilliant. When Jesus is driven by the Spirit into the wilderness, the first things that show up are wild beasts. That's from Mark 1:13. Wild beasts are the first things that show up. What are our wild beasts? Our insecurities. Those inner voices that say, I'm not quite good enough. I don't know. I don't want to go. I feel shy. I don't want to do that. I mean, I was Cher a few weeks ago. All I had to do was put on a wig and I was transformed. Even the wig was on kind of backwards, but I didn't care. I went into this other self, this self that just wanted to have fun, because I got you, babe. Yeah, that was my song. And so the song led me, because we have each other. We have each other, and that's all I cared about. I was wild with that love for Charlie in that moment. So it's like, go there. These habits of control, addiction, negativity, tension, anger, they'll try to assert themselves, but they're the wild beast. Contemplation is not, first of all, consoling, which is why so many give up. It's the truth will set you free. But first, the truth, he says, might make you miserable. Oh, shoot. I didn't like that part. I tell it to people every time in classes. You're coming to classes and you're going to think that you're on a spiritual journey and things are going to be okay. Why do you have a cold if you believe in this teaching? The cold is there. It is an effect. It is there, but I'm not suffering from it because I'm more than that cold. You see, we can play on a cold for great sympathy, can't we? And I did that once in my career as a nurse. I wasn't really sick, but I wanted a day off, and I never was sick when I had to work. So I thought, my sister was coming, and so I thought, I'm going to call in sick. So what did I do? Hello, is it Sue? I don't feel well. Oh, you stay home. Okay. Guilt. The whole day. I had a miserable day. I didn't have any fun. And I pulled my back, I think. Even it was just like, that wasn't the way. That wasn't the way for me. And so I never did that again. But I watch people. I watch people when they don't feel well. There is this, hello? Oh, you must be, yes. Yes, I am. I have the sickness. And I'm sorry for the sickness, because I'm sorry for the flu. I'm sorry for it. But we're more than that. It's passing through you. It doesn't define you. Just keep remembering that. As I was whining about thinking I was sick last night because I was going to call Mary. I think I've got it. Mary, I think I've got it. I can't talk tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. And I woke up feeling great. So the truth will set you free, but first, it might make you miserable. I think he's so clever saying that. Many teachers insist on at least 20 minutes for a full contemplative sit. 20 minutes. You hear this often. They time 20 minutes of sit. Because you can assume that the first half hour or more of any contemplative prayer time is just letting go of those thoughts, the judgments, the fears, the negations, the emotions that want to impose themselves. We become watchers and witnesses, stepping back and observing without judgment. Gradually, we come to realize those thoughts and feelings are not me. They're not me. That's not me. I'm not going to let that define me. Thank you, awareness, for bringing to my attention. Thomas Keating teaches a beautiful, simple exercise. You imagine yourself sitting on the bank of the river. The river is your stream of consciousness. Observe each of your thoughts coming along as if they're saying, think me, think me. Watch your feelings come by saying, feel me, feel me. Acknowledge that you're having the feeling or thought. Don't hate it, judge it, or critique it, or move against it. Simply name it. Resentment towards so-and-so. A thought about such and such. Then place it on a boat and let it go down the river. When another thought arises, and no doubt it will, welcome it and let it go, returning to the inner watch place on the bank of the river. Pretty soon, there's nothing passing. The divine. I'm immersed in the divine. I am that. I am. It is done unto you as you believe. So we filter through all of that, and we become immersed in the resources of truth. So this law is for everyone. And I was sharing in the earlier service this quote. I didn't give credit to James Allen, but he's the one that says, you are today where your thoughts brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. What have I been thinking? Rewrite. Let me try again. Yes, you can. Every day is another moment to sit for those 20 minutes and to qualify and to polish this spiritual tool that God has given each and every one of us, a consciousness and an intelligence and a deep knowing and a power. What is that power used for? A greater good. A greater good to continue to unfold. You are surrounded and immersed. It's within you, as you, above you, below you, through you, around you. It's around each and every one of you here, this intelligence force. Quimby calls it your mingling minds. Your mingling minds. He calls it spiritual matter. That's what we're working with. And we get to do something with the spiritual matter. Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. There it is. Wayne Dyer had a beautiful gift of taking philosophers and reframing it in today's language and then socking it to you. And saying, go there. There's this other thought, human consciousness could affect the behavior of particles. We know this in quantum physics. Mary's brilliant in showing us how these laws work. The laws of physics, the quantum physics today, this microscopic scale of energy fields and space between, and how big is this and how large is that and what is space itself. All of this. But you know who started all that? Buddha said it a long time ago. All that we are is the result of all that we have thought. Well, go there, Buddha. There it is, right there in clear writing. All that we are is the result of all we have thought. Our thoughts have an impact on our lives through our mind and into physical matter. We can change physical matter, yes. There is a divine template of truth inside of you. And this is where we have to really pay attention and be the gatekeepers to what I called last week when I was doing a little seminar, the cross currents of our mind. Those cross currents that try to undermine, they rise up from the subconscious and they put a taint on the truth. Because you could say, I am, and feel the power of that, but then there's a little weakening voice in you that says, you sure? You sure? Remember when you were in 6th grade? Remember that? When you tried to sing? Remember that? You can't do it. And so you shrink back and you shrink back, and that which was open at the top, saying, I am a divine conduit of the truth, pour through me. Really? Remember 6th grade? And so that cross current paralyzes you, and you don't move on. You don't move forward. Let it go. Release and let go. That's why when he says, throw up your arms and dance it, throw up your arms. I release and I let go. Don't be, I release and I let go. Oh, I moved. You can't. It's an energy. Let it go. And as you let it go, a greater power moves through you and reveals itself, because there's a perfection in you, a power and intelligence within you as you, longing to be expressed. And we need ourselves at this time, in this time. We need to wake up. It flows through us according to the impulse of our belief, the impulse of your belief. Dr. Williams James, he was back in the 1800s, says, the greatest discovery, and this is his time, 1800s, my generation, is that human beings can alter their lives by altering the attitude in their mind. You know, a smile upon your face will change your whole day. I was writing a gratitude for the ushers and greeters for the awareness next time, because I'm so impressed. We could come in here a little bit shy, a little bit meh, maybe an edge of grump, and then we see a smile, and we smile back and our life changes. And it's because of what we're met at the door. It's what we meet with each other. It's why socializing is so important. Let us meet the smile of the other. It can be such a gentle smile. Thich Nhat Hanh says, just let those muscles that create the smile, let them perk up inside of you. Let that be. Let that be. Let that be the energy field that precedes you in this community. And we make a difference in the world. It's flowing through you according to the impulse of your belief. So if we're doubting or fearing, that's going to weaken our force. Change the consciousness. Change your consciousness. The condition will disappear. That's huge. You can say, I don't know. I don't know if it works there. It works everywhere. Watch the cross current of your mind and establish yourself in a truth. You're healed. There is a vibrancy inside of you that no virus, no little microbe can touch. There's a perfection inside of you. So allow yourself to be healed. I don't know. I've been suffering for quite a while. I don't know. She kind of limps still. What's she talking about? You know, and it's like, I don't care. I got a limp. I got so tired of at the hospital, people saying, what's wrong with you? You're limping today. And I said, One time I stopped a woman. I said, I think that's odd that you would call out my limp. And she goes, what? I said, well, it's just interesting, but thank you for noticing. And she went on, and I'm sure she's going, what? She was limping. I had to say something. Why? I limp. So be it. I'm still happy. And I think, that's what I'm given, a limp. So I can live with a limp. And so I carry on. I carry on because there's a power in me that has things to say through me. So do you. So we show up with all our limps and gimps and little things going on. So there's something greater, and it's filled with love, and it pours through you. So fill your thoughts with an expectation of good. When I was preparing for this, there's this little hair flying around here, and I think it's going to suck up my nose, and then I'll be... I always forget that this is recorded, and... So, see, there just went one cross current. So let me go back on track here. Our perfect alignment with our deep self is in alignment with the perfect law, that it is always done unto us as we believe. So let us remember that as we take action on the wisdom ways of all the master teachers that Ernest Holmes has gleaned his wisdom from, and that we continue to share in classes and in community together. Strengthening this knowing, here it is your faith. It's your faith of it. So what do we do with the teaching? We establish a faith of it, and we live in it. We live and breathe this truth. We prove it to ourselves. We strengthen our knowing by our faith in it. There is no limitation. There is absolutely no limitation. Now watch those cross currents. Limitation is not a person, place, or thing. We are holding an image, only an image. Poof, it can disappear. It does not have substance. And then we're truly free. Those images, they really have no power of us. They have no personality. They have no true presence in them. Nothing can really support those images. So don't believe in them. They cannot operate through you if you don't believe them. Good will only flow through you. It is the nature of the divine to allow only good to be made manifest. Deny things that contradict this truth. We might be in a timeline. We're not done with time. We're not done with life itself. It's perpetuating itself. So don't stop along the path and say, see, it doesn't work. It's not over yet. Give peace a chance. Give these qualities of deep knowing a chance. What you carry in your thoughts is demonstrated in your life. Now, the interesting thing here is the subconscious has such a powerful influence. And it's so much there because it has the storehouse of everything. And so here we are walking around with that, and every now and again, from the reptilian brain, it goes, and I'm reacting to that. But then there's the higher neocortex and the other levels of brain that are just evolving. They're evolving. And if you wait, they will reveal the truth. And that's what you want to act upon. Not those subconscious beliefs that just pop up and trigger you. But you wait. You wait that sacred time, that contemplative time. And you listen to the still small voice within, and you act upon that. So this idea, these subconscious thoughts that have this influence, free will decides this is some research, 2 to 4% of what we do. Free will, 2 to 4%. 96 to 98 is on autopilot. Yipes. 96 to 98, it's all back in our subconscious, and that's what we're on, autopilot. What you carry in your thoughts will demonstrate in your life. So this opportunity is the invitation for you to continue to get insight and understanding on what you're believing, and speak with one another. We're in a community that listens to each other, that we speak these higher truths. We're asking ourselves to fill our thoughts instead with an expectation of good. We're asking ourselves to elevate our thoughts for higher knowing. And we're encouraging ourselves not to associate or think about what ought to be or what ought not to be. Just a knowing, a deep knowing of truth. It is said, blind lead the blind, and then both fall in the ditch. Familiar, right? But it's the truth. If we don't wake up, if we stay blind to this, ignorant of this, which is one of the, when Ernest Holmes speaks of sin, greatest one for all men is his ignorance of this truth. Because the truth is revealed, and it is a simple path, but it is a path that asks you to stay continually awake to. Elevate your thoughts into that higher knowing, and don't associate with those lower thoughts. The state of consciousness will lift everyone towards their good. So Ernest Holmes reminds us to return to what you really want to demonstrate in your life. What do you want to demonstrate? That's going to be your prayer, one of the first things that you come up with. What do you want to demonstrate in your life? What is going to be a demonstration of the supremacy of your thought? And put it into your prayers. And he speaks this word. And I'm going to share these words. These are Ernest Holmes' words to you. And, from his 1926 text, he said, there is a truth, and in a unity of all life, a unity of the physical, mental, and the spiritual, and that we may discover it. We can discover this truth as we start to apply our way. And Dr. Thomas Sanner writes these words. He's a scholar of Ernest Holmes, and he said, the purpose of science of mind is to discover the truth, for the truth sets you free. It frees us from our error thinking and enables us to see in a new way. We begin to see through the mist of delusion to the eternal and the changeless reality. What is the changeless reality? Love, beauty, joy, those perfected states of being. So we do not have to discover any new truth. The truth is already here. That truth is there is unity for all life, a unity of the physical, mental, and spiritual, and we discover it. We start with the assumption. We assume that God is. You see, this is a very spiritual teaching. God is. And that can be enough. As Goldsmith says, that's enough, just to know that. And then we unify with that. We assume the unity, God is, and that God is all there is, and I am one with that. And then we assume that we are made in the image and likeness of God, and we assume that as we become more enlightened, we discover that God is in, through us, and as us. Oh, I'm not alone. If I just slow down, I remember the truth of who I am. So I'll invite Judy up to tinkle the keys and to allow you to soften. Soften, even if my words come at you in a way that your heart closes. It could be so subtle, but open right now to the music of the ear, to the knowing that is beyond the five senses, to an understanding that rises above all else. And as we take our heart there, we hear Ernest Holmes in these words, and you personalize them for yourself. I am the center of divine mind. I am a point of God conscious life, of God truth, of God action. My affairs are divinely guarded. They are divinely guided into right action, into correct results. Everything I do, say, or think comes from the stimulation of this truth. Feel that in yourself. There is a power in this word. I speak it because it is of the truth, and it is the truth. There is a perfect and continuous right action in my life, in my affairs. All belief in wrong action is dispelled, negative, gone. Right action alone has the power. Right action is the power. The power is God, the living Spirit Almighty. This Spirit animates everything that I do, everything I think. Ideas come to me daily, and these ideas are divine ideas. These ideas direct me, sustain me without any effort. I am continually directed. I am compelled to do the right thing at the right time, to say the right word at the right time, to be silent at the right time, to follow the right course all times. All suggestion less than this, any age, poverty, imitation of unhappiness is uprooted from my mind, and I cannot allow it to gain entrance to my thought. I am happy and well. I am filled with perfect life. I live in the spirit of truth and am conscious that that spirit of truth lives in me. My word is the law unto its own manifestation, and will bring to me or cause me to be brought to its fulfillment. There is no unbelief, no doubt, no uncertainty. I know, and I know, I know. Let every thought of doubt vanish from my mind, that I may know the truth, and the truth will make me free. I know this now. I declare this word for each and every one of us here. We are free, for it is done unto us as we believe, and we believe in freedom, and we believe in love, and we believe in right action. The word is spoken, and I give thanks for the truth pouring through me now, sprinkling on all of us, through us, as us. There is only one, and so it is.